Yeah, Sixers Nation. Welcome. It is I, DJ Eastwood, running back Philly, alongside Romp from Sixers Talk with Romp and Romp 2.0 on YouTube, talking about the NBA, talking about the Sixers. And it's an off night. It's a Monday night after the Sixers got embarrassed by the Milwaukee Bucks. They just beat the Cavs 2 nights before that. So we were thinking, hey, look, they can play hard and compete. And I thought the Bucks were beatable. It would have been nice to beat Doc Rivers in Philly, but they got absolutely smacked. And the issues with the team are more evident than ever. Thanks for being here. Be active in the chat. Hit the like button on the stream, and we'll get into it, man. We're going to talk about what we feel like the Sixers need to do immediately to fix what is happening. What's up, Romp? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's not looking too good. I think we just have to accept we're probably going to be in the play-in tournament. It seems like Embiid's gonna come back at some point, but it's probably going to be a play-in scenario just because you look at our strength of schedule. We're the 16th toughest schedule, which isn't too bad, could be worse. But the Orlando Magic, who are breathing down our necks, have the easiest schedule left. And then the Miami Heat have the 26th easiest schedule. So, yeah, it's not looking too good. The Pacers have the 13th easiest schedule. So they have a tougher schedule than us. But other than that, we got to hope and pray we can somehow beat Boston tomorrow. And then the next 4 games after that, I think, are pretty decently, we could do something besides Dallas.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's look at it right here, man. Let's just look at the schedule and try to predict if we can survive. I feel like I do this every day now, but it's really like there's gotta be some games that you feel like you can win in this stretch to stay alive. We're entering an era where the Orlando Magic might actually be better than us. I don't know why I have that post game live thing on here. Hold up, let me get rid of that real quick. We'll just change it.
Oh, they're not good. The Orlando Magic are not good by any means. They're just better than us without Embiid. They struggled to beat the Pistons the other night, and they luckily got a game winner with Paulo Banchero, who walked on the play. It was an uncalled walk. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I didn't
annoying
look.
because it's really annoying because Orlando is not good. It's just that they're healthy.
They're healthy and they got a lot of.
Yeah.
Past couple of years, they've had a lot of like talented players on the team, just no real identity and organization, and it just feels like a bunch of randomness. But they can beat you. Kind of, they're one of those teams I feel like can beat you on any given night if a couple of guys get hot. But so last week I was looking at this, what I was calling the gauntlet, the Cleveland, Miami, New York, Cleveland, Milwaukee. We're 2-2 in that stretch so far.
Not bad.
The Knicks loss was, I feel like that 110-96 is doesn't tell the whole story. The Knicks absolutely manhandled us from start to finish. They're way too deep. They're way too physical. The Sixers always struggle with physical teams because we always have players on our team who avoid physicality. 5 years of Ben Simmons, 12 years now of Tobias Harris. Is that how long he's been here? I think 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Uh, so we
Feels
struggle
like
against
50.
the Knicks physicality. Milwaukee, I didn't think was that physical of a team, but they got size, and it was just, dude, it's just there's no size. Sixers don't have size, and we struggle against Milwaukee because of the size. Boston on Tuesday, then you got a couple ones that could be winnable. Maybe you go on a little bit of a streak against Charlotte, Dallas, Brooklyn, and Memphis, maybe. But then you got us Knicks. This right here is Sunday, Tuesday, New York Knicks. That's the nail in the coffin of our season right there. They're gonna put us away.
I think go back up to the I think this 5-game stretch, this is our season right here. I think what you're hoping for is 4-1. You either somehow beat Boston, and if you lose to Boston, you gotta go on a 4-game winning streak somehow. Dallas 1 PM, so it could be a fluky game because it's 1 PM. Luka, Kyrie might have to go to church, something like that. Luka probably gonna be hungover. So I think Dallas is beatable on a Sunday afternoon. Come on now.
That's true. Dallas is beatable on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, yeah. Kyrie might be in another country or something. You never know. Um, so we're in the fifth seed. Indiana is now only a half game behind us. So we're a half game out of the sixth seed. Miami is 1.5 at 7. Orlando's tied with
Mhm.
Miami. So we're 1.5 games out of the eighth seed. And then Chicago's 4 or 5 games behind that. You would have to really suck the rest of this season to fall below Chicago at 9. But I think you're right. I think pretty much definitely you're looking at the play-in tournament. I don't think there's any way that the Sixers hang on to the fifth seed.
Yeah. It's just it's kinda unlucky, because Orlando would drop games if they had, like, a tough schedule, but the fact that they got the easiest schedule is gonna cook us. And then the Heat, I mean, the Heat are missing Jimmy Butler tonight, Terry Rozier, Tyler Hero, so they should lose to the Kings tonight. But you know how the Heat work. When they're missing their best players, that's when they're most dangerous in the regular season. We saw that before the All-Star break when Duncan Robinson looked like Klay Thompson against us. And it just kind of seems like nothing's going our way. Like we faced the Bucks. Malik Beasley does not miss any shot. Bobby Portis refuses to miss. We're bricking every single wide open layup. I mean, one time we had a steal on Giannis, and it just went right to Malik Beasley, and we were on a run, totally destroyed the momentum. Like nothing is
Yeah.
going our way right now, and I guess it's just it just feels like we're going to the play-in. Hopefully the tides turn, but right now, ugh, it's tough.
Yeah, so one of those games where nothing goes your way, but at the same time, somebody compared our 3-point percentage to Milwaukee's, or they were showing Milwaukee's 3-point percentage the 2 nights before. Like, look, they shoot this percentage against us. And people sometimes act like that's random, like they just decided to
Yeah,
make a
yeah.
bunch of threes, but they were insanely wide open. That's
Oh
the
yeah.
major issue here. Somebody I think sent it to me. They were like, "Look, they shot 27% against the Knicks and they shot 61 against." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a great defensive team, and we are a terrible defensive team." And when you watch that Bucks game, number one for me, Paul Reed's refusal to guard the 3-point line is unbelievable at this point. Like, I don't understand what the strategy is. I know you're playing back on guards too because you don't want to get beat off the dribble when it's day. But Damian Lillard, like, he's 33 years old. I think you should guard the 3-point shot more than him driving to the rim. And he just kept backing up and backing up and backing up. And all he had to do, dude, I've seen this for years with the Sixers. Simple ball screen, wide open three. All the time. Why is there no like hedging a screen or trying to go around it or switching it, or I just don't get it. It's a simple ball screen, wide open three. Happens all the time against
Yeah.
the best 3-point shooters in the league. Damian Lillard, one of the best to ever play the game. And we're just give him 7 feet of space. It doesn't make any sense. And then the other side is, when there's a stretch 5 or a stretch 4, whatever you want to call Bobby Portis, just another pick and pop, and Paul Reed standing in the lane, and Bobby Portis wide open, and Beasley's wide open, and I don't know, like what. I know
Mhm.
Nick Nurse is a
And
good
then,
coach, and he's dealing with personnel issues, but like, can he teach Paul Reed to run out to the 3-point line? I don't understand.
not only that, but if they do miss, it's like a hope and a prayer if we get the rebound, especially on like a crucial possession where we actually need a rebound. It feels like when we need that rebound, it's never going to happen. And also, I think I think we're too dumb as a team right now to run aggressive schemes. Like yesterday, we just like doubled Damian Lillard out of nowhere, or Giannis. I mean Giannis out of nowhere, and then it opened up a wide open three. It's like, dude, just let Giannis go one on one. Who cares if he scores a layup? It is what it is. But what we don't need is another 3-pointer. We can't get beat in the 3-point game. So it's like pick your poison. Either play straight up defense where you're only giving up twos and running them off the line, but if you're going to play this aggressive style that Nick Nurse loves with all these low IQ players, no disrespect, it's just going to be like three after three after three because we double and no one's rotating properly. So it's just like wide open three. And then not only that, when you play an aggressive style, you're asking to get killed on the defensive glass, especially when you got Paul Reed, who's like 6'8" at center, and Tobias Harris, who doesn't give a flying fluff about rebounding. I mean, honestly, like I feel more comfortable of Kyle Lowry getting a rebound contested than Tobias Harris at this point. So it's like I don't know. I mean, I think we're just screwed defensively. So you might as well start Lowry and get the most out of our team offensively because he's going to set up Buddy Hield. He's going to set up Maxey, potentially set up Tobias Harris, the rhythm boy, get him in a rhythm. He needs to be in a rhythm. So it's like, I don't know.
Dude.
I just don't get signing Kyle Lowry. Then he's not even playing point guard half the time. He's just watching Maxey dribble, and he's a point guard who can actually get stuff done and run plays and give a structure.
Yeah, it's definitely it's weird, right? Right at the towards the end of the season to throw a player like that on your team and try to figure out how you want to use them and stuff like that. I know Nick Nurse would love to start Kyle Lowry, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want it to take away from Maxey, and then he doesn't probably want the negative press of like, look, it's his favorite guy, and now he's gonna run Kyle Lowry, and it's gonna hurt Maxey or something like that. So I think he's being cautious with how he just throws Kyle Lowry in there, how many minutes he's playing him. I think he has to choose between somebody because now you're playing against the Bucks. He played 5 guards, Maxey, Buddy, Payne, D-Melt, and Lowry, and I'm like, we're lacking size and athleticism, and you're playing every single 6'3" player on the roster. So I think he has to choose at least between one of those because the first game Lowry played, Cameron Payne didn't play any minutes. And I like what Cameron Payne brings to you, and I like what the Anthony Melton does. But I don't know. Is that a problem that he's playing all 5 like point guards basically? Or
I don't
I don't know.
know.
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
think it's a problem. I mean, that's another reason I would start Lowry because then campaign is guaranteed minutes, and campaign's going to be inconsistent, but he just won. He basically won that Cleveland game with his first half performance where he had like 12 points. So it's like after that game, you're going to play him 9 minutes, and his minutes, you could tell like he never got the rock, so he couldn't get in a rhythm. So it's like you can't really blame him for playing too bad. But it's like if you're going to have Lowry off the bench, you're pretty much guaranteeing, oh, Payne ain't playing tonight. But if you have him in the starting unit, um, I would potentially start Lowry, maybe since you can't bench Tobias, bring Buddy Hield off the bench, and then you run campaign and Buddy as a second unit with Melton as well. I don't know. I just think Lowry has to start because you need campaigns like scoring punch. Even though he's not the best player in the world, the team misses that scoring punch when he
Yeah.
doesn't play because he'll try to make something happen. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. He's that little combo guard that's out there to definitely try to make things happen. And the Sixers haven't had a guy like that off the bench in a long time. So it's nice to have him. Do you see look, the main issue with the Sixers right now, like the all out of all the issues, is obviously the center position. It's really, really bad. It's not even close to good. It's not even close to serviceable. It's so bad. Paul Reed was so bad defensively against Milwaukee, and everyone's like yelling about Nick Nurse's lineups. And I'm like, what's he supposed to do? The other option is Mo Bamba, dude. Then he puts Mo Bamba in, and he's just I'm dead serious. I think I could score a Mo Bamba. I'm not joking at all. I'm not joking at all. I'm watching 6'1" guards just do layups right over him. It's crazy that he has an 8-foot wingspan and can't guard the rim at all. Uh, can they make a change at all? But like for the last 15 games of the season, or are they just going to say, This is the roster. This is what we're going to live with. And we're going to, you know what I mean? Like, I would make a change right now.
Yeah. I
I would
mean,
release Mo Bamba
I
right
would
now.
yeah, definitely. I would sign a 10-day, I don't know who's available, but
Here, I have it.
there's
Let's look
I
at it.
think you posted something like that.
Yeah, I have it. I have it. Let's look at it.
Um,
Hold on. That's not it.
I think I saw Tony Bradley, and from what I remember from Tony Bradley, I mean, he's better than Bamba. The crazy thing about Bamba and Reed is they have outplayed Jared Allen and Evan Mobley 2 times, weirdly, but against everyone else, they pretty much suck. Like, against the Cavs, they play really well for some odd reason.
Yeah. All right. Here's all the available centers right now that are current NBA free agents. Tony Bradley. He's only 25 years old. That's the weirdest thing I think I've seen in a long time. Because I remember when Tony Bradley was on the Sixers, I thought he was a veteran then. And he was
Yeah, me
21
too.
years old because that was like 3 years ago. Tony Bradley just looks like an old veteran player. He's only 25 years old. Why is he not signed? He was solid when we had him the first time, wasn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was fine. Better than
Tony
Bamba for
Bradley,
sure.
John Butler. I don't know who that is. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Dwayne Dedman scratch. No thanks. Although I'm gonna say even Dwayne Dedman is better than Mo Bamba.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Derek Favors. What's up with this guy? Did he just
I
have
don't know, he's been in the G League.
Did he have an epic fall off over the past couple of years?
He's really old.
He had some solid NBA years. I guess 32s. Taj Gibson, 38. I don't think I'm
I
going
thought
there.
he was on the Knicks.
Maybe the Knicks signed him. When did they sign him? After the buyout or what?
I'm pretty sure because they have so many injured centers, which is crazy. Because when we played the Knicks, it's like Jericho Sims is their 5th backup center, and he's
A starter?
arguably on the level of he's arguably better than Paul Reed. You can argue that, I think.
Big and athletic. I like him. What
Ye
we never
Oh,
seen.
yeah, I think Taj Gibson got cut or something. I mean, that's a Daryl Morey signing right there. He's 38 years old. It fits.
He might give him 3 years, dude. He might give him
Yeah.
3 years, 30 million at 38 years old. Yeah, I don't even want to go there, dude. Every time I think about that, it's insane. For somebody who's supposed to be one of the best basketball minds in the world to not understand that 37 is done and he gave PJ a 3 year. It's crazy to me that he tried to rebuild the 2015 Rockets. I can't believe it happened. Still can't believe it happened. Harry Giles, or Giles, however you say it. I remember him coming out of college. He's only 25. He was a decently high draft pick, right? And then he had injury problems for a while.
He's better than Bamba.
Was he drafted by the Kings?
Yeah, the Kings. He's better than Bamba for sure. 100%. I don't even think it's close.
29-year-old Montrezl Harrell, who I thought was 49.
He's only 29? That's insane, bro.
That can't be
He's
right.
moving like he was 40.
And
He
man,
did have a lot of
wild.
injuries, though.
A lot of injuries. Tore his ACL this offseason after the Sixers re-signed him to save Josh Harris $700,000 on a player option. Yeah, no to Montrezl Harrell because even when he's healthy, he's a 6'7" center, and our problem is height at the center position and being able to guard the rim. And Montrezl Harrell's just as bad as Mo Bamba or Paul Reed at guarding the rim. Kai Jones, you know what? For anyone watching and listening that doesn't know who Kai Jones is a 6'10" freak athlete center who can sprint from one end of the floor to the other like a gazelle. If you just go YouTube and watch his highlights, he was playing for the Charlotte Hornets, and he had a little bit of a mental health issue, and he kind of went off on Twitter and Instagram, and he announced his own trade from the Charlotte Hornets when he was still active on the roster, and there was a bunch of stuff that happened, and he got released, and he's back playing in the G League or overseas somewhere. But look, Kai Jones is a big gamble for anybody because you don't know if he's mentally right. I think a team would like to the publicity of like, look, we're giving this guy a second chance. We care about mental health and things like that from a business perspective. I think teams want to be that team that does that. But Kai Jones, you're taking a gamble, but man, he's an athlete. Dude, he's a
Yeah.
rare athlete. And at where we're at right now, Paul Reed and Mo Bamba, I'm ready to sign Kai Jones. I'm ready to get crazy. We could lose the rest of the games this season. I don't even care. That's
At least we got Kai Jones.
That's where I'm at with the roster, dude. I'm ready to put Kai Jones. Give me all, you know what I mean? I want the purple hair. I want everything.
Yeah, I mean, we could use it right now. I'll take some purple hair for sure.
Myers Leonard, nobody wants to go near him, I guess, because he got released for dropping a Jewish slur on the internet. So nobody wants that negative publicity, I guess. He's 31. Robin Lopez, no. Just no. Just remember the last time we watched him play, I think he was playing for Orlando, and his slow motion hook shot that it looks like it almost touches the floor. Well, no, I don't think Robin Lopez would help us at all. What about this? I don't know how to say his name, but a lot of people are.
I don't know. I don't know why he's not signed. To be honest,
a lot of people are putting Metu or Me Too. You know how to say it?
Yeah, Chimezie Metu. I mean,
Chimezie
I would
Metu.
take him.
A lot of people are dropping
small
his
ball
name in the comments.
He can actually shoot the three, so you would have a stretch five. He can rebound. He had like a 19 rebound game against Dallas for the Suns this year. He's just inconsistent. He has confidence issues. But I mean, he's worth a 10-day contract at least. I don't understand why we're signing Darius Bazley to a 10-day when you're not even going to play him.
Yeah, I don't understand either. Yeah, I would have to watch Chimezie Metu highlights or film to really have an opinion. I don't think I've really seen anything, but definitely people are throwing his name in the comments all the time. And yeah, that's what I mean. Like, are the six? Why you said before we came on here? I think where's the urgency? Like, what is their actual plan to fix what's going on? Or are they just like, nah, you know what? We're gonna try to get Embiid back, and that's gonna solve all of the problems. Like, even with Embiid, remember some of these games? As soon as he leaves the floor, it's a layup line over Mo Bamba or Paul Reed. Like, it's still not good enough. You still need a backup center, even with Embiid. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Morey's just trash, to be quite honest with you.
Was Paul Reed this bad defensively last year or the year before? Like, I don't understand what happened.
No, I think he's a solid backup. I just don't think he's a 20+ minute guy. Like most nights, you're gonna get annoyed of him. But if he's a backup, and if you have another option where you can go like stretch five like Metu, then you don't have to rely on Paul Reed every night, and also you have another option. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I just think Morey looks at the numbers too much, and he's like just fixated that, oh, the starting unit with Embiid has the highest advanced analytics of all time, and they lead the league or whatever. And it's like, yeah, no shit. Joel Embiid was having a historic all-time season. Me, you, and RB with Embiid would put up great advanced analytics most likely because we could just pass him the ball and he'll score or get fouled most of the time. So it's like, I don't know. I just think Morey looks at the numbers and he doesn't know how to build a well-rounded roster other than getting the star players. And I think we've seen that for multiple years, and not just with the Sixers, but also with Houston. And I'm not saying Morey's terrible because he's done some good things. Draft Tyrese Maxey, obviously, but like I say, every time this is brought up, my grandma could have done that. My friend, I was watching with a friend that night. He doesn't know anything about the draft. I was like, I showed him Tyrese Maxey for 2 seconds, and he's like, "Yeah, draft him. He's a Kentucky guard, obviously." So it's like we give him credit for the most like, just like simple things. Like, okay, yeah, Maxey, it's great. Other GMs missed out on him, but I don't know. It's just I don't think he's as good as people make him out to be. That's my point.
Yeah, and I think honestly, people think this sounds crazy, but they need to remember who we're talking about. And he called the Lakers and he called the Clippers at the trade deadline about Paul George and LeBron James. And there's a reason he didn't trade Tobias Harris again, because he wants as much cap space as possible this offseason, because he thinks he is signing a superstar free agent. And it's annoying because you don't always have to be chasing the top paid players in the league. This roster's been top heavy since Brett Brown was the interim GM, or probably before that. You're not going to get a well-balanced roster by constantly chasing max contract players, especially aging max contract players. The league is turning around every day. Every day I'm seeing guys like Lester Canones. You know what I mean? Like every day I'm seeing these young 21-year-old 6'5" basketball players that are out here doing things. And this guy's consistently chasing 35-year-old max players. Yeah. Let's move on to slandering Tobias Harris.
So we've been doing this for like 3 years now.
Davon. Tobias is worth a McDouble, Dasani, and a wave cap. Yeah, look, what I want to know what your opinion is on why it's never even a question. The question is never even in the Sixers atmosphere to bring Tobias Harris off the bench. I don't understand how, it reminds me of the PJ Tucker thing with Doc Rivers. The guy put up goose eggs for 15 straight games, and it didn't matter. If he was healthy, he was starting. It didn't matter what his stats were, how bad he was affecting the team. Tobias Harris, same way. Doesn't matter how bad he is. Doesn't matter how negatively he's affecting the team. There's never a question. It's never like, should we bring him off the bench? They don't even question it. They're just going to keep starting him and hope that he can come out of this slump that he's in, I guess. What do you think? Why? But what is politics? Like, doesn't the coach and the GM want to stop getting slandered for losing games or looking the way that they look? Like, you would think at some point a player looks so bad on the floor that you'd be like, look, you're making me look bad. I got to bench him.
I don't know what it is, to be honest, because I mean, his last 4 games, he's averaging like 13 points a game while shooting like 30% from the field. Not only that, he's not playing defense. Did you see that play yesterday where Maxey threw him the ball? It was an inbounds pass, and he was like, "Yo, Bobby Portis, just steal it. I'm not going to give any effort of going for the actual ball." But I just think it's because politics. He's making whatever he is making. He's a leader in the locker room. That has been,
I
they
hate when
have
people
made
say
it a point. They have made it a point to spread that all throughout the Tobias contract era. So that's obviously a part of it. And also, there's not much better options, but what they don't realize that both of us have realized is that Tobias, losing him, it's addition by subtraction, because the way he plays, the only way he plays well is if he pounds the ball 10 times. So it's like, why would you want a player like that on the court? You would rather a guy who just catches and makes a quick decision. But the Sixers, Daryl Morey has not realized, Tobias, we lose him, it's an addition by subtraction. Go look at how the offense looked against the Cavs when we beat them at their place, and then look at the offense, what it has looked like recently. Slow. It's way slower with Tobias.
Dude, I remember when he was out.
Game, it was like we were whipping around like crazy. I was like, what? This is a new sport.
We've been saying that for years. It's obvious how much his style of play isn't what you're looking for, especially without Joel. You're just looking to share the ball, and guys get up and down the floor and run and gun. And yeah, when I heard he was out for the Cavs game, the first game, the one that we beat the Cavs, I was like, Tobias is out. Watch how good the Sixers look tonight. I legitimately predicted it. I think most people did. and it looked just as good as we predicted it would look. And Tobias healthy back in the starting lineup. It blows my mind. Tobias Harris since Joel Embiid's injury. This is the problem. This is everyone's issue with Tobias Harris, right? It's not like, I get this all the time too, is Daryl offered him the money. What, would you turn down a max contract? No, I wouldn't. It's not about how much he's getting paid. It's the lack of effort for me from Tobias Harris. I see it on a night in, night out basis. He's lazy. He doesn't care. He doesn't chase a loose ball. Kyle Lowry has one charge as a Philadelphia 76er, and it's more than Tobias Harris has in 5 years. He never took a charge. He never took a charge in a Sixers jersey, because when you really watch him play defense, he doesn't step in front of people. He moves out of the way, tries to get a cheap swipe at the ball. That's how he plays defense. He doesn't rotate. He just, I can't take it anymore. And it affects the team so much more than people realize. The only argument that people have is from people that don't watch the game as closely as we do. And I wish I was one of those people. But they always say, what do you mean he's averaging 16 and 7 on whatever? I'm like, okay, now, like 16 points per game is not good, number one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's when Embiid's out, a player who is, whether it was a good contract or not, when Embiid's out, the highest paid player on the team needs to step up. And he consistently doesn't do it every time the pressure is the highest. And 11 games since Embiid's injury, 15 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. 6.5 rebounds for a 6'8" player in a power forward position is ridiculous in 33 minutes a game. 4 assists, 1.5 steals, 45% from the field, 23.8% from three, on the lowest three-point attempts in his career. I don't understand it. He's shooting the worst percentage of his career. He's shooting the lowest amount of threes per game. He's 31 years old. Look, let's throw this out there, okay? Because I just saw a clip of Tobias Harris in Detroit when he hit a game winner against the Sixers, his second year in the league or something like that. And he looked so quick and agile at that time. People need to start throwing this out there, because I see him play lazy defense and I see him be lazy on the court all the time. It's time to start saying Tobias Harris is lazy and he's not in shape anymore at 31 years old, because when you're 22, you're just in shape because you're 22. You don't really have to maintain that by putting in extra effort outside of the game. When you're 31, you got to maintain your physical conditioning by putting in work outside of the game. And if Tobias Harris doesn't put in work on the floor, then I'm absolutely certain he puts in no work outside of the game. And so he's out of shape at 31 years old, and I'm tired of it. But yeah, there's that. I don't know what my point was. I just started ranting. But there's his numbers since Joel Embiid went down.
Here's the thing. We've been doing this for so long that
it's almost
this
over.
season, I've just given up on even caring. I mean, I've ranted on him a few times, but it should be more. I made a video saying I knew he wasn't going to be traded just because that's just how it is with the Sixers. For whatever reason, it was clear as day they weren't going to trade him, even though it's like, bro, he's on expiring. This is the most worth you're going to have out of him. He's going to walk and get overpaid by Detroit. So why on earth are you not trading him for anything? I don't even care if it's Alec Burks, just Alec Burks.
I don't know.
The Toby you're getting is like, he's not giving any effort. He looks injured out there. So maybe just be like, yo, Tobias, sit down. We're good. Please.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you look at the numbers and how much he's hurting the team over the last 11 games, and you didn't want to trade him because you want the cap space at the end of the season, why don't you just say, Tobias, the season's over. We're not going anywhere. There's no point in you going out there and maybe getting injured and affecting your future and maybe, affecting your next contract. We're going to sit you down for the rest of the season with a sore ankle or whatever. Like, why don't they do that? What's the point of continuing to play the guy?
Yeah, but I actually think he's injured because I don't think he's ever been this bad. And I don't think he's ever looked this slow. Like one of my keys that we were going to go over is like, Tobias, just get back to the other Tobias, which is butt cheeks, But right now, we're in the unplayable category with Tobias, where when he's on the court, we're playing four on five basketball. You saw yesterday when he had a fast break, he pulled a Ben Simmons. He was going
Yeah.
up for a layup and he just threw it out. It was crazy. He's lost his confidence. He's probably banged up because he plays every single game and he holds that like a trophy and he's efficient. He's very efficient. He loves saying that. So it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like,
28% from 23% from 3 isn't very efficient. He usually
he's losing.
is efficient. Usually is efficient, you're right.
Yeah, because he only takes guaranteed buckets. He's so scared to do a step back jumper. He
Right.
like trembles in fear. He'll shake before doing a step back or a contested step back.
Right.
Like everyone's
So
shooting step backs nowadays.
so
Ricky
that
Council has more step backs attempted in like 8 total minutes. Like, what are we doing?
So that's another thing, in today's game where everyone looks at numbers and efficiency, because they'll hit me with that too in the comments. They'll be like, he's 16 points per game on 40, 80, 70 or something like that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Or, cool numbers. Somebody has resorted to telling me his true shooting percentage the other day. That's where we're going now. That's how far we're reaching. We're doing a swipe a cam circus acts out here, pulling out true shooting percentages to try to make something sound like it's not as bad as it is. Look, yeah. Is he injured? Yeah, he's never looked this bad though. I'm agreeing with you on that. He's never looked this bad. I don't understand when they're gonna pull the plug, man. Yo, hey, thanks for the super chat. I'm not a Daryl Morey fan, but Philly take with RB wanted Josh Green, not Tyrese Maxey, and I don't recall anyone saying draft Tyrese Maxey. I mean, Tyrese Maxey fell in the draft. Like, I think he was projected to go top 10, or top 15, and he kept falling, and because of his 29% 3-point percentage in college. So when he falls to 21 and you're a team that lacks like explosive guards, I think it was a pretty obvious draft pick. You know what I mean? Shout out to A for being a member of the channel. Also, thanks A for always contributing to the show. RB wanted Josh Green. I don't know. I don't remember that. Yo, here's the thing too, man. We're content creators and we talk every day almost. And some people remember every single thing we say all the time. One guy hit me up the other day and was like, just a couple years ago, you were saying this. I'm like, a couple years ago, bro? I don't remember what I said last week. Yeah, that was my number 2. It was bench Tobias Harris, but that's probably, why won't it happen? Why won't it happen?
It's not.
Also, Ricky Council,
like,
let's look at the game where the game Ricky Council played against the Cavs, right? Was it the Cavs?
the Wizards was his best game.
Was
But
it
he
the
also
Wizards?
played against he also played against the Cavs.
Because when Tobias Harris was out, let's look at the last time Ricky Council had some minutes.
He had
February
19 and 10 against the Wizards, I believe.
February 14th, yeah, 19 and 10 against the Wizards. He had 8 and 5 against the Cavs. He had 13 in 22 minutes against Miami. That was a L. Was Tobias still out in that game too? Yeah, he was. Starting lineup: Maxey, Hield, Reed, Oubre, Martin. Council off the bench. 22 minutes against Miami. 13 points, 4 rebounds. I just don't get it. It seems like every time he has legitimate minutes, he's exactly what you want. Talking about Ricky Council, he's a physical guy who just is going to try to go make something happen, does not shy away from contact. It seems like he loves contact and being physical, and I just love the way he attacks the rim. I love his dog mentality, his fearlessness. And when you watched a guy now for 5 years who looks scared going to the rim, and then you see a guy like that with nothing to lose out of the G League, making $600,000 a year probably. Tobias Harris probably makes what he makes all season on one game. And then Tobias comes back and Nick Nurse won't play Ricky Council anymore in games where you need size, effort, physicality. Like that's annoying me too. You know, I'm getting Doc Rivers vibes from Nick with the Ricky Council thing.
Yeah, I think Charles in the chat hit it on the head too. Starting Batum and Tobias next to each other is basically Tucker and Tobias all over again because
Yep.
Batum is not good without Joel Embiid's style of play. So, I think Batum would be good with Lowry too because Lowry would guarantee ball movement. That's another thing. Like, there's just not enough ball movement. I think Tobias has something to do with that as well, along with Oubre, because I mean, against the Cavs, we got a lot of ball movement. And there's just a lot more fast-paced play. I don't know. I don't think Tobias's style just blends well with what we want to do. And it's like if Tobias was actually good and producing, it would be one thing, but he's not producing. So it's like we got to change our whole style of play for a guy who's going to give you 16. Like, what are we doing here?
Hey, who does that remind you of? Changing your whole style of play for a guy that doesn't fit, or you know, his style is awkward or
Ben
not
Simmons?
what you want. Yeah, yeah, Ben Simmons. Tyrese Maxey, after the Bucks game, tried to be a good friend and teammate and take the blame for Tobias Harris' struggles. I think that's probably on me. I got to do a better job of getting him better shots and getting him in better spots to be successful. I don't like that much pressure on Tyrese Maxey as a facilitator because he's not naturally a facilitator. He's not naturally a half court point guard who's looking around trying to get Tobias Harris better shots. Tyrese, we need you to score 50 points for us to win. Like, that's what has to happen in the rest of these games. We beat the Jazz. You scored 51. We need you to score. Don't pull this Doc Rivers BS. The last thing I want you to do is waste your time out there trying to get Tobias Harris better shots. So no thank
I
you.
agree. That's why you start Lowry as well, because then Maxey can just focus on scoring and Kyle can do the point guard thing. It's like that's why we got Kyle, but we're not playing him as a starter. I just don't get it, to be honest. I don't understand. There's there's no plan. We're just like doing stuff. It's like Maxey, please save us. But there's some pieces around, and you see in segments and games, there's a little hope, but they can't get it consistent. So they got to find like an identity because there's zero identity right now with what they want to do. It's just hope and a prayer.
I thought the Cavs game that they won, they were getting some kind of identity. This last game, the one against the Bucks, because the last game they played against the Cavs, right? Nurse didn't play Batum at all, and I thought he finally realized, hey, I can't play Tobias and Nick Batum together. I can't do that. They're too slow. That's like, and they can't rebound. That's like playing Mo Bamba and Paul Reed at the same time. You know, if you want a death lineup out there. KJ Martin being out against the Bucks hurt us because he was great against the Cavs defensively and was the only player on the team fighting for a rebound in that game. So not having him there, I thought you would have saw a lot more Ricky Council, and we didn't get any. So yeah. So then against the Bucks, he starts Nick Batum. How do you go from playing him 0 minutes in one game to starting him the next game? I don't understand what's going on with the Nick Batum thing, man.
Probably because the Bucks have so much size, and he was like, "Oh, we gotta go Batum. Oh, we gotta go Batum and Tobias." I would probably hear me out. I would start Lowry, Maxey, Melton, or Buddy. I don't care. I'm fine with starting Melton or Buddy. So whatever you want to do. And then I'm putting KJ Martin at the 4. No shooting, but he's probably our best roller, which is embarrassing. And then Paul Reed at the 5. So you got KJ Martin and Paul Reed. You should be way better on the boards than Tobias and Paul Reed because KJ Martin, low key, he really gets rebounds. If you look at his stats, he
does.
really cleans the glass, and he gets offensive rebounds too. He's useful in the dunker spot, unlike Tobias. So even though he's a negative spacer, you can put him in the dunker spot, and if you miss a shot, there's a hope he'll get an offensive rebound. And also, he can roll to the rim as a lob threat, which you really don't have on the roster outside of him, which is another embarrassing thing, considering we have a 7-foot backup center, not really a lob threat. Paul Reed can't get off the ground. He needs to take like reverse layups as a roller. So it's like, I don't know. And I think Lowry would actually get some structure, get Buddy Hield, get Maxey their shots. Because you got to think, is the plan right now not to maximize Maxey and Buddy Hield? I mean, I think that would be my plan as a team.
All right, so let's do it right now. Let's make it up right now off the top of our heads. Let's fix the Sixers lineups. So you're saying that you think Nick Nurse should start Kyle Lowry and Tyrese Maxey.
Because even though they're not Buddy Hield. I don't think Melton's ready to start because of his injury. I think that's why I think you got to ease him into it. But if you want more defense, then you got to go Melton than Buddy Hield.
Or KJ Martin.
KJ Martin, bro. I'm going KJ Martin.
KJ Martin.
I need rebounding. I need rebounding. And then I'm going Paul Reed.
KJ Martin or Kelly Oubre, I'm fine with at the 4.
Or honestly, depending on the matchup, if you don't need as much size, like you wouldn't do this versus the Bucks, but I think you can maybe get away with it against the Boston Celtics. I would put Batum at the 4 and then KJ Martin at the 5. And then, I mean, he would struggle on the glass, but then at least you got 4 shooters on the court. And then you got a roller like Martin. I think that would be, you could do that against certain teams, but it's not going to be a consistent starting 5.
Obviously, none of this is ideal. This is just what we're working with.
Yeah, because we're screwed either way. Yeah.
Lowry, Maxey, Hield, Martin, Reed. Bench, Melton, Oubre, Payne. Did I miss anybody? Oh, Tobias Harris. I did miss Tobias Harris. Tobias.
Yeah, he would go to the bench. In a perfect world, Tobias off the bench. But that's not going to happen.
Harris goes to China. No. All right, we'll leave him on the bench.
Because if you remember the Cleveland Cavaliers game, we had Turk, Cam Payne, and Maxey in the game at one time. We ran a 3-guard lineup with Turk, Smith, and even though it wasn't great defensively, at least we had quick rotations. And I think you saw that in the Cavs game. Like, even though you're going small guard lineups, you're probably going to get beat off the dribble a ton. You can at least close out because Maxey's going to hustle. Lowry's going to hustle. Hield has been hustling pretty consistently besides like the last 2 games. So like at least you have quick closeouts because if you're going to play Batum and Tobias, you got the slowest rotating forwards in the league, arguably. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think it hurts that much defensively. And then it maximizes your offensive potential.
Yeah.
And I think you should put out lineups where Maxey is not the point guard. I think you should have a Cam Payne as the point guard, Lowry as the point guard. And then that would allow Maxey to have more energy throughout a game and also have more energy defensively because you see these defensive breakdowns with Maxey where it's like, what the heck is he doing? Mm-hmm. We know he's capable of, playing decent defense or at least giving effort. But recently it's been like, oh man, Maxey just gave up on that play. Probably because he's gassed out of his mind because he's got to handle the ball like prime James Harden and also put up 40 points while also having to defend because we can't play defense. We have to play defense as a unit because we don't have one lockdown defender who's going to ruin it, who's going to ruin the best players in night. You can't just like OG Anunoby. He's a defense within himself because he's just going to blow up every action. The Sixers don't have any guys like that, so they're relying on 5 players to play defense, which is why we're screwed.
Yeah, and Tyrese Maxey needing to be a better facilitating point guard was a thing because we didn't have a point guard, right? James Harden refuses to come back. Even when Ben Simmons was refusing to come back before James Harden was here and Tyrese Maxey was a rookie or going into his second year or whatever, we were saying the same thing. Can Tyrese Maxey be more of a half-court facilitator or more of a playmaking point guard? But ultimately, you want him to score more than anything. Now you have point guards. I don't think you need Tyrese Maxey to be that facilitating point guard. I think they should be running Cameron Payne and Kyle Lowry and bringing Maxey off of double screens and Maxey and Hield off of screens on the wings and let him get threes around the screen or downhill curl around the screen, stuff like that. Yeah. Use both of those guys as scorers and run the other point guards at point guard. I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that what you got? That's what confuses me. Isn't that why you got Cam Payne and Lowry to do that? Because with Embiid on the court, Maxey's fine at point guard because Embiid's a offense within himself, so he doesn't really have to run the point guard every single possession. And also, you can just fall back on the dribble handoff with Embiid, and you're fine. So it's like once Embiid comes back, Lowry will just go to the bench and he can run that unit. I'm not saying start Lowry when Embiid comes back. I mean, maybe, depends how it works out. But right now, it's just too much pressure on Maxey. And he's capable of doing it, but also having him off ball opens up the whole entire offense because he's got to be guarded 24/7 because he's a threat to shoot. And I think he's a better shooter off the catch than off the dribble from 3 as well.
Yeah. XVEL says Rocco in 3 weeks. I don't believe that.
No,
I don't understand
why
what
wasn't he
happened to
traded?
Rocco.
Why not just trade him? He's on expiring. Even if he does come back, he can only play 10 minutes a game. And if he plays 20 minutes, he's going to get hurt. So it's like, why wasn't he traded? That's another thing with Morey. He's like, there's like guys on the team that just can't be traded, like Tobias for years. Melton can't be traded. Nope, can't trade Melton, even though he's probably the highest value on the team and can actually get us something. Not saying you should trade Melton, but he's on expiring. Are we going to re-sign him? He's probably going to go to another team who's willing to pay him. And then also, who else can't they trade? Rocco. It's like Rocco was a guaranteed non-trade for some odd reason when he can barely get on the court.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't even really understand what happened to him. He just when Embiid was out for those couple of games with knee swelling, it was like Rocco's also out with knee swelling, and then it just turned into this like it just kept extending, and then he never came back, and we're like, what happened to Robert Covington? When did he even get hurt? I don't know, and I don't even believe that he's coming back. It seems like he's having a lot of trouble with it. It seems like he's having a lot of trouble with the knee getting back on the floor. Charles, I'm so frustrated with the Sixers. They had backup point guard issues. That is fixed, and they still have backup center issues. They have issues at forward because besides Oubre, as Tobias and Batum aren't playing well. Yeah, the forward to me is Oubre and Ricky Council, honestly. But, you got to get in desperate times, call for desperate measures. Like, at what point does Nick Nurse just start doing desperate things like starting Ricky Council? You know what I mean? Like, if you keep losing games and the lineup's not working, at what point does he just get a little bit crazy with it and say, like, fuck it, I'm going to start Ricky Council, I'm going to bring Tobias off the bench, I'm going to, you know what I mean? Or do we just keep losing the rest of the season and it is what it is?
How about Tobias just plays better? I think Tobias going back to just going back to
beginning of the season,
because right now he's G League Tobias. We need him to be trash Tobias. I think that would help out a ton because right now we can't even go to him to get a bucket. We used to be able to like post up somebody and get a bucket earlier in the season. Now it's like, what does he do? He's just getting cardio, to be honest.
Yeah, he's having trouble even when he tries to attack the rim, he doesn't get off the ground and he gets blocked very easily by whoever it is. He's hurt. Just say he's hurt. And
Yeah,
he
is.
hurt.
He
Leave him
definitely
out.
is hurt. Like, how could they watch the film and not be like,
Something's
"Yo,
wrong.
dude, get off the court. You can't move."
You guys should consider signing Romeo Langford. He is an insane defender with massive offensive potential. I don't know who that is. You know who that is?
He played for Boston, but I mean, that's the thing with
Wait,
Morey. Morey's not gonna find anyone that we don't know about. It's just not gonna do that.
yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying he's not, but the adjectives here are a little exaggerated. He's an
Yeah.
insane defender with
I don't
massive
know much.
offensive potential. Then how's he not on a team right now?
I just don't
Uh,
get why we signed Darius Bazley and then we're not gonna give him a chance.
I don't understand the Darius Bazley signing at all because
Yeah, I agree with that.
your problem is Mo Bamba. That's your problem. And you didn't go through the G League looking for a center. You went through the G League and said, "Hey, let's sign another 6'7" wing." What? I don't get it. Honestly, you see people work harder doing cardio at the gym than Tobias on the NBA floor. I got nothing else, man. Did you have any other points you wanted to make here? Do you realistically think that we can hang on in the play-in tournament and then Joel Embiid comes back? Is that our best case scenario right now? Because I'm sorry, guys, the Pacers are passing you. The Orlando Magic are
Pacers
probably
are definitely. Um,
you're going to be in the
I
play-in
think
tournament.
yeah, I think this next 5 games, if you can go on a little streak because you have the Nets, you have the Hornets, you can beat Dallas in a day game. You can beat Boston because do you know what Boston's going to do? They always do this. They're like, oh, we're playing nobodies. Oh, we
Oh,
can have fun
yeah.
and take step backs.
Hold on. Let's start over.
They,
Hold on. Because you said this before we went live, and I was like, you have to say that on the show. So
I think we're going to
tomorrow,
be, I think we're going to beat Boston tomorrow. I just have a feeling because I think they're going to take us lightly. And I think we're due for a Buddy Hield hot game because he's had 2 stinker games. And Boston, their last loss was against the Lakers on national TV without AD and LeBron. They always come out and they're like, "Oh, whatever. We're playing trash Sixers." Remember last time we were in Boston? We had like Pat Beverly as our number 1 option and somehow was in
top
the
26.
game. So I'm not saying
Yeah,
there's
guess
like a
who choked?
chance.
Tobias Harris.
Yeah, it's either going one way. We're either getting blown out by 60 or we're winning tomorrow. That's my prediction.
All right, and look, I hate the Boston Celtics. Maybe more than I hate the Dallas Cowboys. As far as just things that I hate in life, I hate the Boston Celtics. I would never want to say anything good about the Boston Celtics, but the Sixers are so bad right now. The Boston's absolutely wiping the floor with us tomorrow. Because even if you do get a Buddy Hield game, here's the thing about the defense and the rebounding being so bad. You could get 40 apiece from Hield and Maxey, and we would still lose to Boston 135 to 118. And we would get out.
They're on an 8-game win streak.
We're going to get out rebounded by 50.
They're due for a loss. They're begging for a loss.
Their bench against our bench. Oh my God, Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard. Every sniper in the world is on that team. Derek White's going to drop 38 off the bench.
I'm telling you, I'm going to be disappointed. They should at least be in the game.
How can we beat the Celtics when our centers can't stop anyone in the NBA from getting to the rim?
I'm just saying, I know what Boston does. They play down the competition. If you bring the energy and you actually play physical and not come out like you did against the Knicks, like you did against the Bucks, for some reason this team has to be screamed at halftime to actually bring physicality because you notice against the Bucks and the Knicks, all of a sudden we're playing defense.
Every game
in the second half.
Every game, third quarter, we come out like Nick Nurse ripped into him at halftime. Every game.
So it's like, how about start with that? because we know Boston's going to come out and they're going to be like, oh, number one option, Maxey. Are you kidding me? Come on now. You should at least be in the game, especially you're playing for your season. Where's the pride at this point? Every single game is like a playoff game for the Sixers. This game for Boston means nothing. They're 8.5 games up against the second place team, it seems like. So they're going to come out lackadaisical. You need to bring it. That's what's pissing me off about this team also. Where is the urgency? You're without Embiid's fighting for his life trying to come back, and you're coming out after a week off against the New York Knicks, who are also injured, and you get run off the court. You don't even give yourself a chance in the first 5 minutes of the game. Imagine if they actually showed up in the first 5 minutes. It probably would have been neck and neck at the end of the game. But no, after a week off, Tobias is going to come on the court, get blocked, air ball, and then clank. Right there, you lost the game. Your best player, your leader. Like, what are we doing? Where's the pride?
And then 12-3 run to start the game.
Yeah, that right there, you just lost the game. But if you look at the rest of the game,
that's the game where I was mad at Nurse because Tobias went out. We made a run with Ricky Council in the game. Then he put Tobias back on the floor. Then Tobias went out. We made another run.
And
we had 6 points.
He brought back Batum and Tobias when we were down by 6 points and completely lost the lead.
Game over. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like Embiid is trying to come back from a torn ACL. And we're coming out like looking like we don't even know how to play basketball. I'm not asking for much. I don't expect them to beat Boston, but I expect them to at least like show up. Against the Knicks and the Bucks, they didn't even show up in the beginning of the game. It was just pure stupidity half the time. And it just like they should be getting every loose ball. If they have an opportunity to get a loose ball and the desperation they're playing for, they should get every loose ball. Or you're just a loser.
At this point in the season, to play undermanned with your back against the wall, you need to play players that don't have any fear. You need to play players that play like they have nothing to lose. You need to play athletic, hard-headed guys who are just going to go out there and do wild, crazy physical shit, attack the rim, get called for charges and get called for tackling people. You know, you gotta play guys with heart like Kelly Oubre and KJ Martin and Ricky Council. The problem is the two guys that are hurting this team the most are the two laziest players I've ever seen in my life, Tobias Harris and Mo Bamba. They are lazy. They don't give a shit. I know Mo Bamba is slow because of how he just is slow. It's who he is. He's 7'1" and he's very slow, but there's a laziness on top of him already naturally being very slow. He doesn't care at all, which blows my mind too, because you're on the verge of not being in the NBA and never being in the NBA again, and you look like you don't care whatsoever. So yeah, stop playing Tobias Harris and Mo Bamba and play everybody else.
That's another reason you start Lowry, because you can tell he gives effort even though he's fat and also 38 years old. But he's out there, bro. He gets punched in the face. His first comes back.
He's still moving pretty good. Man. I don't even think he's playing like that washed. Like, I don't even think he's looking like, oh my God, look, he can't move. He can't jump. I don't even think he's really looking washed. I think he's looking like an older version of Kyle Lowry, but he's still looking solid.
Yeah, I don't think he's in shape to start, but I mean, if he has to drop dead on the court, it is what it is. We're screwed anyway, so might as well play him 35 minutes. He looks plump out there. Like, it's crazy. he looks big in that six. He looks like Raymond Felton at the end of his career.
Plump Lowry. Pause.
He's looking plump, bro.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I can't believe I'm calling for Lowry to start. That's where we are. We're screwed, man.
I'm calling for KJ Martin. That's where we're at.
Oh, yeah. By the way, he can't make any three-pointer, any free throw.
And he can't dribble.
He can barely dunk anymore, it seems like. Any Sixers like lose their ability to dunk. Kelly Oubre can't dunk no more. He misses every contested dunk. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. His contest dunk rating is a 20. You get the animation every time, but it misses every time. He doesn't have the badges, man.
See, it's hard for me to slander Oubre because I see a lot of
Dude, I love Kelly
Oubre
Oubre.
slander, but that dude tries, and at least he
That's why I love him.
At least he at least he does what he does. Like, you know what you're getting from him. You
Mhm.
know he's not gonna pass the ball when he drives, but he's gonna drive with force, and
Mhm.
there's actually gonna be a possibility of him scoring. It's not like a Tobias drive where it's you can kinda tell he doesn't wanna do it. He's, like, kinda, like he's in and out if he
It's
actually wants to
so
drive.
finesse, dude. I hate it. He looks like a trapeze artist or like a tightrope walker, some guy like walking on the edge of a curb or something. Like I can't stand it, man. He always looks like he's tiptoeing. I think that's what I'm looking for. Tobias Harris looks like he's tiptoeing all the time. Like, why do you look like you're sneaking through somebody's house? Play basketball, man. I'm so tired of it. But dude, I love Kelly Oubre, man. I don't care if Kelly Oubre goes out there and gets 5 charges in a row, and I just love it. I don't care. Anytime he drives on a triple team and plows over somebody, gets called for a charge, and there was 4 wide open people on the perimeter, I laugh and I say, I love you, Kelly Oubre. Please continue to be yourself because it's just, I don't know. At this point, it's entertaining too. But I just don't care that much because you're getting 100% effort from him every single play. And I think you're gonna. He is what he is. You're gonna get the negative side of him, but it's hard to slander him when he's out there
He's on a
trying his hardest
minimum.
all the time.
I don't get the Oubre slander, bro. It actually pisses me off.
On a better team, maybe I would get Oubre slander. Like, hey, look, we're really good, but this guy keeps coming out here and taking dumb shots and refusing to pass the ball and things like that. But at this point, where we're at right now, you lack aggression and effort. I love Kelly Oubre,
Plus,
but
he was great when we were all healthy too.
he was, and his shot was falling, and then he got the injury, and then he struggled when he came back. Then his shot started falling a little bit recently. So yeah, I don't know, but Abs actually like, yeah, they're gonna end up in the play-in tournament, and a quote was released today from somebody from Woj that said it's gonna be up to Joel Embiid whether he comes back or not, basically, which is not good for his health because if it's up to him, he's gonna play
He's
hurt.
coming back.
Yeah. So
Dude, he looked like he wanted to play yesterday.
oh my
He was
god.
playing hurt for like 2 straight months.
He's gonna be out
So,
of the league. He's gonna be
yeah, he's gonna be walking like Doc Rivers too, unfortunately.
Doc Rivers and Nick Nurse are only 5 years apart in age.
Man, that's what lying will do to you, man. That's crazy. I
That's
didn't
what
think I
that's
didn't
what
think that.
selfish, egotistical narcissism does to you as a person. It ages you. The universe, it won't allow you to get away with it. The universe will bring you gravity's pulling Doc Rivers harder to the ground than Nick Nurse because of who he is.
Doc he's one of a kind though. He's generational with what he's been saying in the media. Like, it's honestly made me a fan of him
Why has he been on a
just
media
because
tour? I
it's
feel like he's promoting a Netflix special. Why is he on every podcast, dude? Is it? I'm so sick of it.
My question is, why did Sixers reporters even interview him? Like, you knew what the answer was gonna be. It's just so stupid. Why even ask him about his time in Philly? It's gonna be the same old he's been saying the same answer for a year now, and people are still getting mad at his answer. Like, it's not gonna change.
He said he didn't think Joel Embiid got the ball enough in Game 6, and he doesn't know why. And I'm like, I've never seen a coach consistently admit that he has no idea what's going on with his own team. It's so funny the way that he talks about a team like he's sitting in the second row. Like, yeah,
He's so good
they
at it
had no
too.
heart tonight. They had a lot of turnovers. They didn't have any passion, any fun. Like, you're the coach. I don't understand. It's wild, but at least he's not here anymore.
He's a troll, man. He's truly just doing it for a check.
I don't think he's a troll. I think he's delusional. I think look, man, I think he's already delusional, but he's getting older. He's getting more and more senile and delusional. And the fact that
Mm.
he got $40 million again is insane.
Yeah.
He
I
thinks he's
think
great
the Pacers are losing to the Toronto Raptors, by the way, at halftime.
right now.
Yeah, by 5 points. I'm not saying they'll probably win by a buzzer beater, knowing the Sixers' luck because we can't get any help either.
You guys got any hot takes in the chat or anything, man? The chat's been quiet. Chat's been quiet.
I think they've given up on this. The chat has given up on the season. I'm gonna be real.
You guys are such Sixers sickos that you don't want to talk about the Sixers anymore. You don't really want to watch it anymore. But you're still like, I'll listen to these guys. I'll just, I don't give a shit and I hate this team, but I'll listen to Romp and Eastwood.
Does this
Thank you for being here.
Does this stretch? Oh no, yeah, you can read that.
KJ Council Baisley. My God, there's zero shooting in that one. But those are the guys.
I would rather those players over Tobias, to be honest. I just want Tobias gone.
Yeah, those are the guys that are going to give you 100%, and you might as well get crazy at this point, man. RJ7,
bro.
Go get Dwight Howard. Like, yeah, I mean, look, Dwight Howard's been playing overseas this whole season. He's better than Mo Bamba. And I don't even have to watch him. I didn't watch him play at all this year. I didn't watch a single highlight of him overseas, and I know that he's better than Mo Bamba right now.
He's in good shape. He was good. He was in great shape when he was here. For his age.
Petrusev. Hey, I forgot about him, boss man. He looked okay in the summer league that one year. I remember. I don't know if that would have made much of a difference.
Yeah,
but it's probably better than Mo Bamba.
I need Kenny Lofton
minutes.
I'm for it.
Kenny
at
Lofton.
Least give me, bro. That dude's a scorer. He can score at least. Mo Bamba, oh my God, dude. I get so scared when he has to take one dribble or just pivot. Not even dribble. I'm so scared when he has to pivot.
Yeah, Kenny Lofton can score, but he can't play defense in the NBA.
He got a bag. Kenny Lofton, low key, like.
But he's gonna give up just as many points as Mo Bamba on the other end.
Yeah.
Is the play in a small blessing since we would play Celtics and Bucks instead of Knicks and Celtics? Is the play in a small blessing?
I think he meant the Cavs and the Bucks.
Does he mean when if you get out of the play-in tournament?
I don't know.
You win the play-in tournament, you're the 7 seed, right?
By the way, fluff the play-in too. We would be chilling if the play-in didn't exist. Like, the play-in's a cool idea when you're not in it. But man, when your team has to deal with a one-game elimination, it's so stupid. You're telling me the Orlando Magic, because they have the easiest schedule, we have to be in a one-game elimination game versus Michael Jordan, the Heat, because Embiid got hurt, even though we have like a 90% win percentage with Embiid. It's like, what's the point of the regular season if we're going to do this? Pisses me off.
Yeah, because
it is entertaining.
Like the 9, and there should be maybe a tournament between the 8 and 7 or something. I don't know. The 9 and 10, the Bulls and who's down there? Like, why? Like,
yeah,
if you're bad enough to be the 10th seed, why do you get a chance to have an upset game to make the playoffs? That's annoying.
You're just making the regular season more meaningless. Like, you're kind of making it meaningful for teams that don't deserve to have a meaningful regular season. And it's one game where anything could happen. So that's even stupider.
Any chance Tobias gets re-signed?
Dude,
I hope not. I just don't want to watch.
I would delete my Sixers. I would delete my Sixers channel.
I don't want to watch it anymore. It's been 5 years. I don't want to watch it anymore. And that would just be another like reason to start him for 5 more years of my life. No, please don't. He's 31, by the way, too. So, he's not getting younger. He's not going to get better. He's not going to get faster or give more effort. There's no reason. Tobias and rebounding. All right, I agree with that. I retyped it here.
Oh,
Is
here
the
we go.
play-in a small blessing since we play the Cavs and Bucks instead of Knicks and Celtics? Yeah, so you're saying when we get out of the play-in tournament, we would be in a series against the Cavs.
Yeah, but we could potentially fall to the 8th seed, and we would
That's
have to
what
play
I'm
the
saying.
Celtics.
That's what I'm saying. You at this point, you would have to be the 6th seed to play the Bucks. The Knicks, if you're the 7th seed and you play the Knicks, you're done. Gentlemen's sweep.
Yeah, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee we win the first playing game either. 6 or
We
7
might
seed.
lose. We're not even taking that into consideration. We might lose the play-in tournament, and then just the season's over.
Definitely, if we're in the play-in, I'm guaranteeing, like Charles Barkley, we're losing because Embiid's going to come back. He's going to have all the pressure in the world on him. He's probably going to throw up a stinker in the first game, and Jimmy Butler's going to have like 60 points. Oh yeah, we're done. That's why I'm so deathly afraid to fall in the play-in.
Well,
That's why I'm watching every Orlando Magic game, and on Saturday night I was watching Pistons versus Orlando. I was screaming at the TV.
that's some real sicko shit right there. You were watching a Pistons
That is
Magic game?
sicko. It was entertaining, not gonna lie, but man, oh man, the Pistons are terrible.
They've been saying that they want Joel, and they're hoping Joel comes back with a couple of weeks left in the regular season, which would be like right now. So they actually think he's close to coming back. Because if they don't have
this 5-game stretch is so important, because if you could go 4-1, which is possible, it's not possible, but if you could go 4-1, you're going to get Embiid back in like 2 weeks.
I hope that happens. I think. I don't know if I hope
Do or die. I'm telling you, this is the last hope for me. If we go like 2-4, I'm done. It's over.
Gregory Benning said, "Get rid of me." The Sixers are taking a toll on the fan base, man. Put Kenny Lofton in.
ready
It's fun to watch. It's not fun to watch. Kenny Lofton's not fun to watch. It's really bad defensively, dude. He was in the end of the game against the Trailblazers, and he was getting smoked by everybody on the end of that bench. Anybody can score on Kenny Lofton. He's too slow to be a guard. He's too short to be a center. He's really, really bad. I know he can score, which is why he puts up 40 pieces in the G League, but it's a layup line with Kenny Lofton out there, man.
Well, he's like Zion, but
Unless you have
Zion's worst qualities.
If the Sixers' issues weren't size and you could run Kenny Lofton at small forward in certain lineups, if they had centers and power forwards, that'd be different. But you can't put him out there as a center or a power forward, I don't think. I can't wait to see the Sixers decide to fill 2 open roster spots. I don't know.
We have 2 open roster spots still. Well, Darius Baisley just got signed to 1, but he's on 10-day.
The play-in was made for LeBron to get into the playoffs. That's true. If Rocco returned, do you use him and Paul at the 5? Maybe.
Yeah,
I'll play Rocco at the 5 over Mo Bamba.
100%.
You can't go small ball.
But we went in the second half, our small ball lineup got us back in the game. It just didn't work in the first half.
This 3-year, $75 million deal Tobias is going to sign with the Pistons this offseason. Let's go. At least we know Daryl Morey is not going to overpay. Maybe. He overpaid for PJ Tucker, but I think him trying to rebuild the 2015 Rockets is because he was Harden re-signed and Harden was making calling all the shots, basically.
Yeah.
Harden was telling Morey all the players that he wants on the team. That's what happened. And Embiid wanted PJ also. What is a realistic star trade you guys think Morey will do this offseason with max cap space and 5 eligible first-round picks to be traded after the draft? Is there 5? They have 3 right now. After the draft, I don't know, but if that's true, they have 5 first-round picks and a bunch of cap space. It's just that there's no, look, I think the best I think I think I don't want Paul George. I don't want anybody that's aging and has injury issues, right?
Mitchell?
The perfect trade, if the team would decide to trade him, is Brandon Ingram.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Which is, it all comes full circle because we could have drafted Brandon Ingram over Ben Simmons. And I remember live on ESPN, Chauncey Billups was like, I don't think Ben Simmons it should be number one pick. He won't shoot the ball. I would take Ingram. And he said that. And me and everybody else thought Chauncey Billups was the craziest person alive for saying he wouldn't take Ben Simmons number one. He said it straight up. He saw the future. He said, I would take Ingram. And he's so right. But yeah, I think that's the perfect trade.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram. What would you give up for Brandon Ingram?
Everything.
I
think Markkanen is probably the best option, but he's not going to be available.
Markkanen. Yeah, I know. A lot of people were talking about him leading up to the trade deadline, but it was obvious that the Jazz weren't trying to trade him. Danny,
I wouldn't give up all 5 for Ingram, but I would give up 4.
Yeah.
How old is he?
26. Ben Simmons' age. Good. He's about to enter his prime. Brandon Ingram next to Joel Embiid would have 4 years of getting buckets.
He's also a playoff riser, by the way. In his short playoff career, it hasn't been much, but he was really good against the Suns. Good in playing. I think he had one bad playing game, but
Ingram is nice, but you need a killer, not Ingram. I mean, I personally,
he's kind of a killer, man.
Dude, watch him when he gets on a roll and he turns into Kevin Durant from the mid range, man. His length with where he releases the ball is so hard to defend in the mid range, man. I like Brandon Ingram a lot.
I mean, if the Pelicans were ever healthy for like a season, they're scary. But CJ McCollum's also washed, so that hurts their team. But if they had a good point guard next to Zion and Ingram, they would be up there, man, for one of the best teams in the West. They don't even have a point guard on that roster besides CJ. Like, that's kind of embarrassing.
What happened to I forget his name, man. Little dude.
Alvarado?
Yeah, Alvarado.
I mean, he's like TJ McConnell. He can only play like 15 minutes, and he'll have like one good playoff game. TJ McConnell was better than Ben Simmons in the playoffs, though.
Does Maxey get his big contract before next draft night, and does he eat into the cap space? I don't think I know the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't. He's going to get a big contract, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But
especially he's with Clutch too.
But with Tobias Harris expiring, you're still looking at. I think when they're projecting the Sixers cap space, they're counting. When people are projecting the Sixers cap space, they're taking into account Tyrese Maxey max contract. Because you're calculating $60 million. That's including the third. Teams have room for 3 max contracts, I think, still, or unless the CBA changed that. But $40 million Tobias expiring, DeAnthony Melton expiring. That's why they're projecting $60 million. But I think, Tyrese Maxey's definitely getting a big payday.
In the offseason, there's going to be a lot of content because LeBron's going to opt out and Morey's going to do his due diligence to make up fake rumors, LeBron to Philly. And because we have cap space, there's a chance, but it's probably not going to happen. He'll probably just re-sign in LA. And if he goes anywhere, he'll probably go to Golden State because he likes California, obviously. And why on earth would he come to Philly? Unless we drafted Bronny, but Bronny's not good enough to get drafted this year, so he's probably going to stay in college. I think we're going to
stay in college.
I think we're going to sign Klay Thompson to a big ass contract, to be honest.
No,
which I don't mind, but it's just another like.
I don't think LeBron. I don't think Bronny. I think Bronny's getting drafted, and it's because LeBron James' dad, LeBron James, wants to be the first player in NBA history to play with his son. And teams know that, and the teams are in control there because they're like, well, if we draft Bronny James, LeBron's coming to our team because he wants to play with Bronny James, and you have the rights to Bronny James when you draft him. He doesn't get to choose where he goes. LeBron doesn't get to choose where he goes. So teams are going to be playing that game of trying to basically put LeBron in a corner and say, hey, you want to play with your son? We drafted him, you know? I don't think he's good enough to play in the NBA. I'm saying that straight up, but he's the fact that it's LeBron James' son, he's going to get drafted for that reason.
We're gonna have to sign Buddy too.
That's true.
Yeah, so we probably won't go for Clay. I forgot about Buddy.
Well, they better sign Buddy.
Yeah.
Daryl Morey, watch this, dude. He lets Buddy walk, and he signs Klay Thompson because he thinks Buddy Hield is a random NBA player.
I think Clay's a little better than Buddy defensively. And
At this point in his career. I mean, Buddy's bad defensively, don't get me wrong, but
I trust Clay in the playoffs more. I think Clay has a quicker trigger too.
Oh, he definitely does, but I'm not taking him at this age.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if age weren't into it and it's just player versus player, I think Clay is still better.
I'm assuming Maxey makes around Edwards 4-year, $200 million. What do you think? What do you think about that?
He's gonna get a bag, man.
When did Anthony Edwards sign that contract? Anthony Edwards.
They probably gave him the extension because Maxey could have got re-signed this offseason, but remember, Morey was like, "Nah, we're good."
Yeah, they were acting like they wanted James Harden to come back, and I don't know. They were like, this is going to help us build the team, and then they didn't do anything except sign Mo Bamba and Patrick Beverley.
Would you take Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah. Anthony Edwards' contract.
Crazy.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards got 5 years, $260 if with incentives. How did he sign an extension at 21 years old? I'm confused. Has he been in the league? Did he get drafted at like 18, 19?
Yeah.
I guess.
He was a 19-year-old rookie, I would assume.
Yeah, 5-year, 207 with a chance of the deal reaching 260. He becomes the fourth player to get maximum rookie scale extensions this summer. Halliburton, LaMelo Ball, and Desmond Bane. His deal would reach the supermax level if he makes an All-NBA team. I mean, obviously he's making an All-NBA team, I would think, right? So it's 5 years, $260 million is Anthony Edwards, and that's probably what Tyrese Maxey is going to be looking at also.
Yeah, he'll probably get more because it usually goes up like every year, and it's been a while.
That's true too. All right, yeah, I got nothing else, man. Thanks for helping us.
Wait, one last question.
Go ahead.
Maxey for Booker trade scenario. That's pretty crazy.
Would you guys trade Tyrese Maxey for Devin Booker as a fun trade? No, I wouldn't. Not with this roster. If the Sixers had prime Kyle Lowry, I would do that.
Yeah.
But you trade Maxey for Booker, you still don't have it. Now you got no creator on the floor. I mean, not that Booker's not a shot creator, but like point guard style player like Maxey at least.
Yeah, and Maxey will get to that level eventually.
Yeah, let's not forget that he's 23 years old, man. He has multiple 50-point games. He's, when he's 27, 28 years old, he's going to be he's going to be top 5 NBA. I really think so when he's that age. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, bro, thanks for coming through. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for venting with me. Thank you to 275 people still in here listening. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the channels, tell your sister and your grandma and everybody to watch us or something like that. And thanks for listening.
This Boston win tomorrow.
I'm clipping it out and putting it on TikTok and Instagram because the interactions are going to be ridiculous.
They're gonna cook me if we get down by 20 in the first 5 minutes. Which damn! Toronto's up by 9 points. Let's go.
All right, man. Thanks, Romp.
Peace.
I'll talk to you soon.